It's time for another horror movie, brothers. Today we're diving into the American horror series, Annabelle. To celebrate his wife's impending childbirth, John gifts her a very cute antique porcelain doll. This doll was crafted by a highly renowned carpenter who died under mysterious circumstances 12 years ago, so the dolls stopped production and became rare items. Mia was overjoyed with the gift and immediately placed the doll on a shelf. Soon night fell, and the lights suddenly came on at the neighbor's house. They seemed to have discovered an intruder. The husband told his wife to call the police first while he went out to check the situation. But the moment he stepped outside, he met his end with a slash across the throat. Mia also woke up in bed upon hearing the noise, quickly rousing the sleeping John, saying she heard screams from next door. John, looking through the window, also sensed something wrong at the neighbors and told Mia to stay put while he went to investigate. As it was the middle of the night, Mia felt uneasy and also headed towards the neighbor's house. But just as she reached their door, John ran out in a panic, covered in blood. He told Mia it wasn't his blood and urged her to call the police and an ambulance immediately. Mia dashed back into her house and grabbed the phone, but midway through talking to the operator, a figure suddenly drifted past behind her. Mia, hearing a sound, walked out of the room just as a strange woman holding the doll emerged, saying she really liked the dolls Mia collected. Mia was startled by this sight and warned the woman she had already called the police and her husband would be back any moment. While she was speaking, another intruder crept up from behind. Mia, unaware of his presence, stumbled right into his arms, and then she was stabbed in the stomach. John arrived belatedly and subdued the intruder, then rushed towards the woman to grapple with her. But outnumbered, John was attacked from both front and back. In the heat of the fight, the woman suddenly fled in panic into the next room. It turned out the police had arrived at the scene and fired shots, killing the intruder facing them. When they opened the room where the woman was hiding, they found that she had already committed suicide by slitting her throat while holding that doll. Then, a drop of her blood fell into the doll's eye socket. The woman was actually the child adopted by the Higgins couple. Grown up, she joined a cult, and one night she and her boyfriend, also a cult member, killed the Higginses. Subsequently, Mia was rushed to the hospital. Fortunately, the stab wound didn't harm the unborn baby. And after treatment, John took his wife home. But after this incident, Mia started feeling that things in the house weren't right. First, the sewing machine inexplicably turned itself on. Then the doll was found sitting eerily on a chair. Mia suggested her husband get rid of the doll because it had been held by that woman, and its face was smeared with her blood. To reassure his wife, John promptly threw the doll into the trash. After discarding the doll, John put on a suit, saying he had to leave for the day. Being a surgeon, the hospital had sent him out of town for an important meeting. Mia understood her husband's work and waited patiently at home. But soon after, the kitchen stove suddenly turned on by itself, a bag of popcorn placed on it heating up and expanding rapidly. Meanwhile, Mia was sewing and smelled something burning. She followed the scent and was shocked to see the kitchen engulfed in roaring flames. Mia was stunned, lost her footing, and fell to the floor. Crawling, she tried to reach the phone to call for help, but an unseen force dragged her back. Mia was terrified, but fortunately, neighbors hearing the commotion rushed over and rescued her. Just then, John arrived at the hospital in a rush. Fortunately, both Mia and the baby were safe, and Mia had successfully given birth to a baby girl. After these events, Mia felt there were unclean presences in the house and quickly moved with John to start a new life. But while unpacking, Mia pulled the familiar doll from a box. John was shocked to see the doll. He was certain he had thrown it away and it couldn't possibly be here. Mia said she didn't know either. Maybe it got mixed up during the fire. Since the doll was a gift from John, Mia still valued it and placed it on a cabinet. Evening came. Mia put her daughter to sleep and then, exhausted, fell asleep herself. At that moment, a shadow passed by the door, and in the blink of an eye, it appeared right in front of the baby. The baby became very uneasy, crying and crawling upright. Mia thought her daughter was hungry and prepared some food. Then the radio turned itself on, playing music. As Mia walked over to turn it off, she noticed someone seemed to be standing behind the curtains. She tried to peek inside, but a gust of wind threw her to the ground. Immediately after, a child ran out giggling. Mia chased the sound and found the sewing machine running again. She quickly unplugged it. At the same time, she saw the child behind her. Mia asked who she was and why she was in her house, but the child just silently stared at Mia, then suddenly charged straight toward her. When John came home, she told him everything that had just happened. John analyzed it using medical terms, saying it was hallucinations caused by postpartum anxiety, something most mothers experience after giving birth. But Mia strongly disagreed, trusting only what she saw. So the next day, John took Mia to see Father Perez. The priest said if she believed in Jesus and God, they would protect her. After Father Perez's guidance, Mia quickly calmed down about the haunting. She went alone to the basement to store some belongings. The property had assigned each unit a storage room down there. While Mia was sorting through some items, she heard the sound of a baby crying. Right after, a baby stroller rolled into the middle of the hallway. Curious, Mia walked forward to look. When she lifted a blood-stained cloth inside, the stroller was empty. This sudden sight terrified Mia. She scrambled into the elevator, and simultaneously, her hand was scratched by a demonic presence, leaving a mark. As Mia examined it closely, the elevator doors opened. She thought she had reached the upper floor, but the elevator hadn't ascended. It was still on the basement level. Frightened, she frantically pressed the button to close the doors. But just like before, the elevator didn't move and the doors opened again. Then the lights began flickering before going out completely. Knowing she couldn't just wait to be tormented, Mia seized the moment the doors opened and ran into the opposite stairwell. While running, she looked back and saw the entity had followed, crawling on the stairs beneath her. Mia sped up and ran back into her apartment. The next day arrived. Mia unwrapped the bandage and found the mark left by the demonic scratch had vanished, which she found incredible. But the mark looked familiar, so she called Detective Clarkin, who had investigated the earlier murder case, asking to see the crime scene photos. Sure enough, the same mark was found at the scene where the attackers died. Mia guessed this mark must be some specific demon's insignia and went to a local library to research. There, the librarian Evelyn approached her. They had met a few times before. Evelyn said Mia resembled her deceased daughter and thus cared deeply for Mia. Mia told Evelyn she was being haunted by the ghost of a girl. Evelyn then brought Mia many books about demons, explaining she wasn't being haunted by a girl's ghost. Because cults love summoning entities that don't exist in human form, demons. And these demons crave human souls, rarely stopping until they get one. Mia returned home and began studying the books, hoping to find a way to deal with the demon. But suddenly, she heard all the musical toys in the baby's room start playing at once. While Mia walked inside to look around, the two doors behind her slammed shut and locked, impossible to open no matter how hard she pulled. Then noises came from her daughter's room. Mia, trapped outside, was frantic, calling her daughter's name through the crack. In this emergency, Mia grabbed a chair, smashed the lock, rushed in, and scooped up her daughter, comforting her while scanning the room. Just then, the doll mysteriously stood up from the floor. Mia heard the sound and looked back. In the sunlight, a demonic form was visible beside the doll. Just then, John, returning from work, heard his wife scream and rushed in to ask what happened. They soon contacted Father Perez. After hearing Mia's story about the doll, the priest explained that demons can use objects as mediums to cause chaos and seek human souls. But there was a rule. A demon couldn't just take a soul, it needed the person's consent. Mia then asked how they could rid themselves of this demon. Father Perez said to give the doll to him first, to temporarily suppress it with holy items while he contacted a couple specializing in exorcism to handle the doll. With that, Father Perez took the doll away. But just as Father Perez got out of his car at the church, a sinister figure appeared inside it. Before he could even enter the church, the priest was violently thrown out, his head hitting the ground, leaving him bleeding badly. Coincidentally, Father Perez was taken to John's hospital. When he woke up, John urgently asked what happened. Father Perez said he had been injured by the doll, and the demon desperately craved the souls of Mia and her daughter. Upon hearing this, John immediately called Mia, telling her to leave the house immediately, saying he was on his way. After hanging up, Mia heard knocking at the door. Looking through the peephole, she saw it was Father Perez and opened the door without suspicion. After that,
"Is everything all right?"
May God have mercy on your soul!
the demon also entered the house and began rummaging through everything. Fortunately, Evelyn was at Mia's home at the time. Mia then heard her daughter crying, but when she rushed towards the sound, she didn't see her daughter, only an echoing voice, while all the surrounding dolls were smeared with blood. Evelyn urged Mia they couldn't fight the demon and should go get help from the church, but Mia refused to leave. Just then, the demon suddenly appeared on the ceiling, blew Evelyn out of the house, and locked the front door. Mia searched the rooms alone. She saw a crayon roll out from the nursery. When she entered, she saw the walls covered in scrawls. "I need a soul." Seeing the creepy doll lying in the stroller, Mia grabbed it and smashed it repeatedly in rage. Then a voice guided her to the window. Mia understood the demon meant for her to offer her soul in exchange for her daughter's life. Seeing this, she decisively climbed onto the window ledge. Simultaneously, John unlocked the door with his key. Seeing Mia on the window ledge about to jump, John pleaded with her not to do anything rash, urging they find another solution. But Mia didn't respond. She only wanted to save her daughter and ignored John's words. John seized the moment and pulled her down from the ledge.
Mia, listen to him. You can't do this to Leah. A daughter needs her mother.
You said it needs a soul. You said it needs a soul.
While John was comforting Mia, a voice interrupted them. They looked back to see Evelyn standing on the window ledge in Mia's place. She said the daughter needed a mother, and without hesitation, she jumped, falling to her death. After Evelyn's death, Mia's daughter reappeared in the stroller. The scene then shifted to Evelyn's perspective for a monologue. Human sacrifice often touches God's heart. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for a friend. It seems Evelyn wasn't taken by the demon, but was taken to heaven by God. 6 months later, the doll disappeared without a trace after the last incident. Its last known location was in a toy store. An elderly woman bought it as a birthday gift for her daughter, immediately followed by a series of eerie events. They quickly notified the Warrens, a couple who handle paranormal cases, and gave the doll to them. The Warrens then locked it inside a glass case, having a priest perform cleansing rituals twice a week to suppress the demon within. So, can the doll really be purified? Thus the film concludes.